Hello my dear students, today we are going to study the poem The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. I am Dr. Archana Pandit. William Wordsworth, you all know that he is the major romantic poet who started the romantic movement in English poetry. William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge together published the book Lyrical Ballads in 1798, and in Lyrical Ballads we can say that the seeds of romanticism were sown. Most of the poems in the 1798 edition of the Lyrical Ballads were written by Wordsworth, and the second edition of the book was published in 1800. And in that edition he added a preface which summed up the main concerns of Wordsworth's poetry, or in that preface he has written in detail about the basics of the romanticism. As you all know, romanticism in English literature means that they were nature poets. Four of them, basically they are very famous: William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, P.B. Shelley and John Keats. And their focus is on common man, nature and the simplicity of the language. If you read the poems of Wordsworth and all these romantic poets, especially Wordsworth's poem, they are very simple. They use the language of the common ordinary man. Even the figures of speech which have been used, they are very simple, as they are absent in the common man's language. And therefore their poetry, the poetry of romantic poets, they surround around the nature, they move around the nature. Nature for them was God, friend, philosopher and everything. In short, we can say that they have started the movement back to nature. And this poem, The Solitary Reaper, also tells us about a lady who is working alone in the fields, and Wordsworth was passing from the mountain top and he observed this lady. She was singing while she was doing her work in the farm, and he has written about such a solitary lady, a lonely lady, in this poem. Wordsworth's focus has always remained upon the celebration of ordinary lives and the people, from the rustic life of the people. The Solitary Reaper, as I said earlier, is one of such poems, and in this poem the poet is inspired by the sight of the peasant maiden. Peasant is farmer, maiden is a girl who is unmarried girl maybe, reaping and singing in an open field in the Scottish Highlands. The melancholy tone of the song and the image of the peasant life left a deep impression on the poet. The sad tone of the poem and the image of that lady working in the field left a permanent impression on the mind of the poet, and it resulted in the beautiful lyric, The Solitary Reaper. So this lady, she is from Scottish Highlands. Scotland is part of England, and the lady is from the mountainous region, and the poet or William Wordsworth is observing her from the mountain top. Maybe he is going from there, he is traveling over from there, and he saw this lady working in the valley in her farm, and while she is working in the farm, she is also singing a beautiful song. So let us read the poem. Behold her single in the field. Behold her single in the field. Behold her, see her, you can look at her. She is working alone, single in the field. She is working in her farms. Yon solitary highland lass. Yon is there. There she is working. Yon solitary is lonely. Highland lass. Highland means from the mountainous region, and lass is lady. So we can see the lady working alone in the field, and she is the lady from the mountainous region, and we can see her reaping and singing by herself. There is no one to help her. She is doing the work of reaping. She is cutting, maybe it is harvest season, and she is cutting the crop which is fully grown, and she is singing by herself while she is working. So both the work she is doing simultaneously, singing and reaping. Stop here or gently pass. He is telling the readers, or he is telling the passers-by over there, the travelers over there, you can pass by, you can pass from that highland, you can pass from that mountain top, and you can see her, you can observe her working there while she is singing. You can stop, you can listen to her song, or you can gently pass from the mountain top. Alone she cuts and binds the grain. The lady is alone, she is cutting and binding the grain alone, and sings a melancholy strain. Though the lady is singing in the Scottish language, and Wordsworth is unable to understand what she is really singing, but he can understand the tone of her song, and he senses that the tone of her song is melancholy. Whatever she is singing a sad song. So he is saying to the travelers, you can stop over there and you can listen to her song, which is melancholy. Oh, listen for the well profound. Her voice is so soothing, her voice is so beautiful that the whole valley, well is valley, the whole valley here is completely filled with the voice of her beautiful voice. The whole valley is overflowing with her beautiful voice. Her melancholy strain is overflowing with her sound. The whole valley is overflowing. She is working in her farm, which is in valley, and William Wordsworth is passing or from the mountain top, and he observed her. He stopped over there and he is listening to her song, and he feels that the whole valley is overflowing with her voice, with her pretty voice, but she is singing a sad song. No nightingale did ever chant, no nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt. So here he is comparing her voice with the singing bird nightingale. Nightingale is a singing bird which sings very beautiful songs, or we can say the whatever birds chirping is there, nightingale's chirping is there, it is very soothing, it calms our mind. Similarly, the lady is singing the sad song. Though she is singing the sad song, it is soothing for the passers-by, the travelers. They are weary, the travelers who are traveling from the mountain top, they are walking long distances and therefore they are tired, and when they stop to take rest under the shady haunts, that is the under the tree, under the shades of the tree, when they take rest and when they listen to her song, all their fatigue is gone, all their tiredness is gone. And as if Wordsworth feels that she is singing the welcome songs for the weary travelers, the tired travelers. Maybe the travelers, they are traveling from the Arabian sand, or they are traveling towards Arabia. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird. He is comparing her voice with two singing birds. First one is cuckoo. In the first line of the second stanza, he is comparing her voice with cuckoo's voice, in the nightingale's voice, and in between he is comparing her voice with the voice of the cuckoo bird who sings during the springtime. But her sound, but her music, the music of her voice, her song surpasses the music, the chirping of these both singing birds. Breaking the silence of the seas. She is singing so sweet songs that he feels that even it breaks, her voice breaks the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Hebrides is a group about 500 islands of the northwestern coast of Scotland. So here he is saying that her voice is so enchanting that it can reach thousands of miles. Maybe it will reach the Hebrides, the islands, 500 islands, the group of 500 islands which are in the coastal regions of the Scotland. So that is the magic of her voice. It can travel far away. Her voice is sweet, her voice is enchanting, her voice is thrilling, her voice is soothing, her voice is calming, as well as her voice is magical. It may travel thousands of miles. Will no one tell me what she sings? But what is the problem? She is singing in the Scottish language, which Wordsworth is unable to understand, and therefore he is asking the question to himself, can somebody explain me what she is exactly singing? I can understand that she is singing a sad song, but I am not able to understand whether what is the subject, what is the theme of her song, what she is singing about. Perhaps the plenitive number flows for old and unhappy far off things. Then he starts maybe guessing. Maybe she is singing about some sad things, some sad incidents which may happen earlier in her life. Unhappy, far off things, old, unhappy, far off things. Maybe see, unhappy things, sad events happen in everyone's life. Maybe some events may have took place in the life of this lady even, and she is singing about those sad events. She is expressing her grief through her songs while she is working. Maybe she has lost her father, maybe her brother, or maybe her husband during a war or in some accident or something like that. So she is singing about some bad incident. And battles long ago. Maybe she is singing about the wars which took place long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matters of today? Again, Wordsworth says that maybe she is not singing about the wars, maybe she is not singing about any big sad event, but she is singing about maybe day-to-day problems. Even in our lives, we face every day, we face few problems which we feel they are very great, but actually they are very much we can say tiny, or we can even neglect them, but sometimes we enlarge such kind of problems. So maybe maybe she is singing about some humble problem, day-to-day ordinary problem, familiar matter of today. Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. Maybe she is a lady, maybe she has faced some natural sorrow, loss or pain. Uh, she is a woman. Women, they have particular physical problems. Uh, they face many kinds of harassments. Maybe she is facing some kind of harassment at home front, uh, and she is working alone. Nobody is there to help her over in the farm. Therefore, Wordsworth thinks that, the poet thinks that maybe she has faced, or maybe she is facing daily some kind of problem which she is singing about, which she is expressing through her songs. Whatever the theme the maiden sang, whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. What Wordsworth is feeling? The maiden, the young girl, the young woman, especially the unmarried woman, whatever is the theme of her song, I felt when I was listening to her song, I felt that as if her song had no ending, it will go on continuously. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. She was working and singing continuously, I told you earlier. So in the last stanza also, he is insisting over here that over the sickle bending, she was bending and she was cutting the grain with the sickle, and at the same time she was singing the song. I listened motionless and still. When I listened to her song, I didn't move. Her song was so enchanting, engrossing, that I was completely lost in her song. I stood over there at one spot, motionless. I was not moving at all. I stood still and listened to her song, and I felt that maybe her song will not end. And as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore. But I have to move, I have to go. And when I continued my journey, when I started walking on the mountain tops, that music, her song, made a permanent impression on my mind, made a permanent mark on my heart, and I saved that song permanently in my heart, in my mind. Long after it was heard no more, I continued my journey, and after maybe crossing many miles, I was unable to hear her song, but I preserved her song in my mind's eye, in my heart. He preserved that song forever, permanently. And in this poem, he is talking about the rustic life, the life of the farmers, the life of the villagers, the life of the women who are working in their farms, the countryside folk, we can say. And he has used the natural imagery very effectively in this poem. Therefore, this poem is a complete, fulfilled description of the romantic poetry, a best example of the romantic poetry, we can say. I hope you have understood the poem. Thank you very much.